Welcome to Grace. Never heard of her. I'm Gina.
And I'm Maddie. We're two moms, two friends, two overstimulated women navigating motherhood, new identities, and careers, all while challenging society's expectations and redefining what it means to do it all.
Because Grace, well, never heard of her, but word is she's worth getting to know.
Good morning.
Hi, Maddie. It's so good to see your face.
I think we should start with a quick update on our self-care. How's it going?
I was really hoping you were going to forget about that.
Accountability.
I know. I actually thought to myself, I'm like, didn't do what I said I was going to do. So there's that. But I did do some things. I took the baby steps like we talked about. So I'm happy about that. So I think I said I was going to Peloton 4 times from in between our episodes, and I Pelotoned 0. But I saw these exercises to do in the morning to wake up your brain. So I did that a couple times. So it wasn't like a full-blown workout by any means, but I moved my body. I took a mile, maybe over a little mile walk with my coworker who lives very close to me. We just did a nice little stroll when the sun came out.
That's amazing.
I know. I downloaded an app called Yuka, which you can scan barcodes of food and it rates them based off of, is it good for you, bad for you, and why is it? You know, maybe it's too caloric, maybe it's too high in sugar. There was something, I can't even remember what it was. Oh, I think was it a protein bar that I used to eat these protein bars all the time, and I scanned it and it was like, this is a carcinogen. I'm like, what?
Oh no.
Ew. My mother-in-law told me to stop eating those. She was right. So anyway, I went to Trader Joe's and just scanned everything and was just really trying to understand what was I buying, what's actually going to nourish my body. So I bought a lot of healthy food, made some healthy recipes, and I downloaded a at-home Pilates app, but I haven't done it yet. Baby steps.
I mean, I was going to say that feels like you did a lot. You said you hated cooking. You cooked meals for yourself.
I did.
You went grocery shopping and found things that are truly going to nourish your body. That's huge.
You're right. Oh my gosh. Okay. You're right. I should see, just because I didn't do the Peloton 4 times, I'm like, oh, I failed, but I didn't. So thank you. Your turn. You said you were going to journal. How did that go? Or not go?
Yeah. I was gonna say, let's just focus on you today. I did not journal. Yeah, we had our vacation mixed in there. I think
Fair.
self-care at every level went out the window completely. I think I regressed instead of progressed.
Well, how about this? How about all of your self-care energy went into surviving?
I think you're right. I think it did.
Had I been a betting woman, I would have bet that I wouldn't have done anything and you would have. Right? It's a nice little change of pace. But
yes,
like, obviously, vacation, travel, that's so much. That's so exhausting. The idea of sitting down to journal, I'm sure, felt daunting on top of everything else. How was your vacation?
can we even call it a vacation?
No. How was your work trip with your family?
Oh my gosh. I would say overall, it was pretty good. I think I am still figuring out how to probably manage myself as it
Mhm.
relates to vacation. So,
Yeah.
to give you a couple little fun highlights or lowlights of the trip. So, it starts out, we took a late Friday night flight in to see my parents, and there's a regional airport that's pretty close to them. So we were like, whatever, we'd rather fly there because the alternative was flying into Tampa, and then it's like a 2-hour drive to my parents' house.
Okay.
So we opted for that, but there was little options, so we had to do a connection in Atlanta,
Yeah.
which sucks, but we were like, "Maybe it'll be okay. The kids won't have to sit as long. They can get up and move around." But again, this Friday night flight wasn't gonna get in until midnight.
Mm.
Rough with children. And we got messages from daycare that a stomach bug was going around
Of
that
course you did.
day.
Yep.
So we were originally gonna send the kids in the morning, pick them up, and kind of get ourselves ready before we left for the airport, but we decided we didn't wanna risk it, so we kept the kids home Friday, which was
Oh
just
my god. The day you're
Uh-huh,
trying to
mhm.
get everything ready. That's like the day you needed more than any other day.
Yes, yes. So, started off really strong.
But it sounds like it worked. Your kids made it out
Yes,
unscathed? Okay, good. So at least it
they
wasn't in
did.
vain.
No, it wasn't. It was for a good cause, you're right. So, it was snowing when we left. We had to get de-iced before we could take off,
Mm.
which I don't know about you, but that, like, waiting period before you take off when the kids have to be buckled, have to be in their seats, and, like,
Yeah.
sitting still is honestly it's worse. It's worse
Yeah.
than getting to the airport, being in the airport. It's worse than being up in the air. It's just a hard time. So that was a little bit rough.
Curious for my own comfort and misery loves company feeling right now. When you say that that was rough, what
Yeah.
was rough about it? Were they crying? What were they doing?
They're just so antsy. They can't
Mhm.
just
Sure.
sit still, which is it's like I get it. They're kids. They're not meant to sit still, but of course, Parker doesn't understand why he has to be buckled or why he has to sit still. They want snacks immediately because they're bored and don't know what to do with themselves. And we're sitting, mind you, it's 3 and 3. So I'm in the middle of both kids. Tyler's in the aisle.
Okay.
Parker wants to get up and walk the aisles or move and sit with Tyler and just like wants to be doing anything other than what he's doing. So I think it's that, and you constantly have to tell him no. Like, you literally you can't get up. You have to sit. Like,
Right.
it's the rules, and they don't understand that, and where
Yeah.
maybe you'd be a little bit more flexible at home with things, there is no
Right.
flexibility, and so you just have to constantly repeat yourself, and so it's exhausting in that sense. They're overtired. We're
Sure.
eating snacks for dinner instead of a real
Right.
dinner. All the things. We made it through. But here's the kicker. So we get on our flight, the last leg to go to Florida, and they're like, "We're gonna leave early. It's less than an hour flight. We're gonna get in early." And I was like, "Oh, this is amazing. This is
Right.
what we need." When we are at the Atlanta airport, which is huge. So it feels like you taxi out to the runway forever.
Okay.
We we are about to turn to start taking off. We are next in line. Some guy gets up and starts walking to the bathroom. And the flight attendant is literally like, "Sir, you need to sit down. We're about to take off." And he's like, "I'm going to be sick." And she goes,
Oh my god.
she's like, "Be safe. Be safe. Do what you got to do," basically. I watched him because he was like 3 or 4 rows ahead at the bathroom. He couldn't open the bathroom door. All of a sudden, he goes down. He passes out. Yeah, he passes out. It was so quick, though, so, of course, now they're like, "We need a medical professional on the flight."
Oh my
Ah.
god.
It is, like, 10:30 at night. My kids have not slept. They are buckled up, not wanting to be doing any of this.
You're like, "Can somebody just get him off the plane, please?"
Literally. So then they start assessing him, taking him back, getting him some water. He's like, "I'm fine, I'm fine." And we're like, "What the hell just happened?" It was so bizarre. My theory is it was him and his girlfriend flying together. I think they were, like,
Mm.
drinking at the bar beforehand, and the flight did start getting kind of warm. I think he got, like, overheated and claustrophobic,
Yeah.
but I don't know, obviously. So, of course, we're
Was
just
there a
sitting
medic on
there.
the plane?
There was a doctor. There was a doctor.
Wow.
I know. So she gets up, starts helping out. There was actually a lot of people that, like, jumped up to help. I was like, "Wow,
Oh, I
this
love
is
that.
great."
Yeah.
So anyway, the pilot comes on after a while and basically says we have to go back to get them off the plane. And mind you, we just taxied forever. And so we have to taxi all the way back to
Oh my God.
the Delta space or whatever. An ambulance comes, gets them off the plane, and then they say we have to refuel because we waited so long on the runway and burned fuel. When I tell you, it it
Uh,
took an hour. It took an hour to refuel a plane that was sitting on the runway for 30 minutes. Uh-huh. Yep.
oh my, I'm in shock, truly, how bad. Like, it keeps getting worse. I just don't understand.
It was miserable. And come to find out, we overheard the flight attendant say that the, I don't know, whoever they were conversing with and the doctor that was checking him out, like, he was actually cleared to fly. And the pilot made the decision to get him off the plane,
Mm.
which I get it. You don't want to have any issues while you're on the plane or had to do, God forbid, an emergency landing or anything like that. In the grand scheme of things, we were delayed probably an hour and a half, but it was an hour and a half of just sitting,
Right.
waiting,
Right. The
which
kids
is the
couldn't get
worst
up.
part.
Right.
So the kids finally, I think, fell asleep at midnight when we took off. And we got in
Oh,
at like close to 2 in the morning at that point.
I'm so
Yes.
sorry. What a nightmare.
So that's how we started our trip.
So,
And
so your Friday was truly in the gutter at this point.
trash.
From morning until night. From morning until
Yeah.
morning, actually. What are your kids like when you transfer them when they're sleeping?
Zoe was great. She fell asleep. She was a little groggy, but got up and was fine. Parker. Parker is my boy that is that screaming kid on an airplane. So he got woken up when we landed, and as we're back of the plane, all waiting to deplane, he's screaming the entire time because he's overtired.
Of
I
course.
mean, he just got woken up, and luckily, that is the one thing that doesn't really phase me. It's just
Yeah.
so
It's
interesting. I'm just
good.
like, what am I gonna do about? I'm sorry.
Exactly.
I mean, after everything we just experienced.
No, exactly. And I think that's such an important piece. If Parker was running around or like kicking someone's chair or throwing things at somebody, you would shut that down. But
Yes,
what are you, to your point, the dude's tired. What are you supposed to do? And I bet
truly.
people probably understood that too. I'm sure nobody was pleased to be on the plane.
No. People were actually, I will say, very, very kind to us. There was a couple people that offered to help just carry our bags off the plane
Oh,
for
I,
us, and
I love nice people. I don't know
I
why it
know.
shouldn't be that
I
that big of a
know.
deal to hear that, but it's just so sweet. I
It
love people
was.
helping people. Okay.
It was very kind.
Wow.
We're not even there yet.
I know, I was just gonna say, oh boy, okay, so now we're in Florida.
This is how the week goes. It was pretty cold for Florida when we first got
Okay.
there. So it like wasn't pool weather.
Mm.
We weren't taking the full week off. We did the half days and then we took a couple days off. So, anyway, my parents were helping watch the kids while we were working, and then we would take some time and just hang out. So it was good in the sense that there was some sunshine. We got to go on some bike rides, which was my joy. The kids got to go in the pool, which they absolutely loved. We ended up taking a couple days off to take the kids to Disney. So we did an overnight. We stayed at the Port Orleans. We got a day at the resort, and then we did a park the day after. The resort day was great. It was sunny, it was beautiful. They had a cool pool and water slide and all of these activities. We all got shitty night sleeps that night because the room next to us got in at midnight and they were loud.
Mm.
They woke us up and then the room was hot, all the things. So then we're rushing because one, we have to pack up the car before we go to the park because we're not
Oh,
staying another
right.
night. everybody wants to get to the park early. So I am just like already feeling rushed and overstimulated and didn't get a good night's sleep. Like, it's all the things that I know in my head if I had just taken a breath and been like, it is what it is. It's fine. But I did not. I did not do that. So I get in a fight with Zoe over her hair because I was like, you need to get your hair out of your face. We're gonna be walking around all day. We're gonna need sunscreen. She's like all about wearing it down right now. And I was just like, no, not dealing with that. So she starts hysterically crying as I'm brushing and what feels like ripping her hair out as I'm trying to get it up in a ponytail. To the point where everyone else has to intervene and take her for a walk to go bring stuff to
Oh
the
my
car.
God.
And now, mind you, too, my parents came to our room to help. So there is like 6 people in this
Yes.
tiny hotel room as I'm
Oh.
fighting with Zoe over her hair, which, again, taking a step back and looking at it now, it didn't fucking matter. Why did I need to do her hair? I didn't. I should have just let her keep it down. But I didn't. It's like, this is the principle. I told her. We talked about it beforehand. We were on the same page, and she did not want to do it. So started the day off in a piss poor mood because she pissed me off. She was pissed off.
Yeah.
And then we get there, and I'm like, we paid so much money for stupid tickets into this stupid park. We're going to get a cute family photo in front of this goddamn castle if it's the last thing I do. Again, why the hell does it matter? Who cares if they're freaking looking? But I did. I made it my mission that day to
Yeah.
get a family photo. So I think we visited the castle 2 or 3 times and attempted family pictures every single time.
God.
Hated
Did
you
you
single
get
one of
one?
them. I mean, it's okay. I'm not thrilled about it.
So looks like you're just gonna have to go back to Disney, I guess.
No. I'm not going back. So then, of course, the kids have a magical time. Zoe was
Good.
just so into all the characters. She couldn't wait to
Oh.
see Minnie and Mickey and princesses. She was a little daredevil. She wanted to ride the roller coasters, go on all the rides. Parker cried at every character we met, like hysterically sobbed. Oh, we waited in
Fair.
lines, but they did all
Yeah.
right. I just went through the day and I was like, how do people say this is the most magical place on earth? Are they saying it through their children's eyes only? Because this is not magic. This is borderline shit.
I don't even know where to start. I have so many thoughts. I guess my first question to you is, did you have an idea of what it would be before you went into it? Did you have an expectation or a hope? Or were you kind of just like, I don't know what it's going to be like. I guess we're just going to roll with it.
Think more so kind of the latter. It's actually funny. So we tried to surprise the kids with the trip. We
Yeah.
didn't tell them we were going to Disney. We get there, we're passing Mickey Mouse and all this Disney stuff that she's calling out, but we very quickly realized she doesn't know what Disney World is. Like, she has no clue this place exists.
Oh my God. Right. If you're like, we're going to Disney World, she's like, what's that? Oh,
Yes.
that's funny.
So then we had to do recon and we're like, we gotta tell this girl what we're about to get ourselves into ahead of tomorrow.
Yeah.
I think that was the first kind of healthy dose of reality of like, we had this grand idea that we were gonna surprise the kids with this fun trip. And it was like, oh, they don't even care. They don't even know.
I hate that. That is something that still to this day, I just can't shake. Totally unrelated, but the Christmas, we got the boys this big climbing thing that I spent 3 hours making. And Chris and I are like, they're going to love it. Oh, this is going to be so great for the winter. It's collecting dust. They just were so uninterested, and it was a big gift at the end. Just so sad. I was just like, that is not what I wanted. So I get
No.
that feeling. You just want to create this magic for your kids. From what I hear, it sounded like everything that kept happening was something that is not the way you wanted it to go. And it probably like spiraled out of what feels like in your control. And so it
Mhm.
makes sense to me why you would fight Zoe over her hair. It makes sense to me why you're like, we're gonna get a picture with everyone looking because you are desperate for some control of a really shitty experience thus far.
Yeah.
Do you think that you had genuine disappointment of how the trip was going, or do you think it was more of this feeling of losing that control and it just going haywire?
I think for me, control and disappointment are so interconnected,
Yeah.
and that's something I've always struggled with is letting go of control. And I
Mhm.
think it goes back to everything we've talked about or touched on in probably every episode. I think it's hard when you're not in your own space and you're out of your routine. And I don't think I allowed myself to, I don't think I gave myself grace. Traveling with kids is hard.
Yep.
Vacations with kids are not vacations. They're work trips or even harder maybe than a work trip
Mm.
because they're not napping. They're dysregulated. They're eating sugar and probably all these things that they wouldn't normally eat. They're skipping naps. They're not doing all of these things. So, yes, I think I was holding on to control because we lacked so much structure and I need
Mhm.
structure.
Mhm.
And I think my disappointment actually came from how I handled the situations more than anything.
Yeah.
I felt so much mom guilt after the fact for how I treated Zoe, for how I acted, that I'm like, "Why?" Guess what? We ended up taking her hair down.
Yeah.
She had her hair down. Why did it matter? And I think that's the disappointment came from that versus the expectations of the trip, but I think you're right. Without structure within this trip, I think I let myself spiral and just fall
Mhm.
victim to all of the things that I think I do a much better job of when I feel like I'm more in control maybe of myself.
That's very reflective of you. Very self-aware. Do you think looking back, maybe missed moments of connection because you were so focused on control?
Totally. 100%. I started the day off pissed off.
Yeah.
At everything, and I knew I was pissed off at myself, and I definitely let it get to me, and that's probably also why then I was, like, so laser focused on this damn picture, 'cause
Yeah. Sure.
I didn't set myself up for success in that sense, and I let it bleed over too, and I think back on the trip, overall, the trip was actually really good. The kids were as well behaved as you can be when you're out of your routine and structure and all of that,
Right.
and they did have fun, and it was overall a great trip, but I think I'm just, like, so laser focused now on I hate how I showed up as a mom.
I know me telling you this isn't going to magically erase that feeling, but I would have handled it the same way. I would have. I think it's kind of hard not to when you're, like you said, in survival. Not to mention, you're spending thousands of dollars, I'm sure, collectively on this trip. So for all these things to happen, you're like, wait, why are we doing this again? I think that when it comes to basically anything with our kids, I'm thinking just smaller picture. For example, picture day. And I
Mm.
had the cutest outfit planned for Leo, and he was like, "No, I need to wear my Spider-Man shoes." And I'm like, "No, you cannot wear those. Wear these cool Zara shoes that go with this outfit."
Yeah.
And he was crying, and he's like, "I wanna wear my Spider-Man shoes." And I ultimately caved because I was just like, "Whatever, these are stupid school pictures. I'm probably not even gonna buy them anyway." But that feeling of just, I have a vision, I want
Yeah.
this to be a certain way, help me out, and to your point, why does it matter? I think what it is trying to avoid our own discomfort, because everything you described, it sounded like nothing was in it for you, really. There was no benefit to you. It was more on you. It was stress. It was harder. You had to put more mental effort, physical effort, and so you're in a deficit. in the sense of getting your cup filled. So where is that line of I'm kind of sacrificing my comfort for my kids to have a good time? I don't think that that's something that's super natural for us to feel because who wants to just be uncomfortable all the time?
You're so right. I'd love your perspective on this because I think what I struggle with too is how much do we concede to our kids versus
Mm.
allowing our kids to feel discomfort? Because I think what I fear is that I will concede and then there's no boundaries or there's no structure for them. And how do you strike the right balance of, no, this is the
Yeah.
rule and I'm going to hold strong to this and I'm sorry you're uncomfortable, but we're going to do this
Right.
versus does it truly matter?
The first thing I'll say is I feel like I'm actually probably the worst person to give my perspective on this because I find myself in that trap of trying to prevent discomfort in my kids all the time. So I'll just share some advice that I was given that I thought was really good advice. Really, it just comes down to safety. So if Zoe wants her hair down, is her well being at risk? Would her hair down put her in
Yeah.
a dangerous situation? The answer is no. Don't fight it. Don't put yourself in that power struggle. If it comes to safety, like, "Hey, I wanna ride a bike without a helmet." No, you're wearing a helmet. If you're not wearing a helmet, we're not riding the bike. So I think that's maybe one place to start. Another thing, and I don't know if I probably got this from somebody, but my stance on it is behavior has consequences, emotions don't.
Mm.
Meaning, if you're sad because I told you no, or you're sad because, you're in the situation, kind of like what you were saying about Parker being overtired, like, you're not going to punish him for crying because he's overtired. But yeah, if he's throwing rocks at somebody because he's bored, that you're going to put a stop to that. So I try. That's the operative word here. I try to kind of keep that as my North Star of when I try to intervene. The problem, though, that I face is okay, you have emotions. I get it. You're disappointed or you're frustrated or you're mad. But like, how long am I going to let that go on for? Because
Yeah.
Leo, for example, this could go on 30, 40 minutes of just sobbing. And yes, I'm sure at some point it turns into that they're offline, their brains are no longer functioning and, they're just in pure rage. I get that, but it also like, I forget something just happened. Oh, the boys and I were playing in the basement and Leo was trying to play with the little Melissa and Doug ice cream set. Jonah's coming over and pick up an ice cream or a cone, and Leo was distraught. He kept crying, and he was like, "No, I was playing with it first." And right, so I acknowledge, I get it. You're upset that Jonah's taking this, but Leo, come on, like you're gonna let that one cone that went away ruin our entire time of playing together? Get over it. I didn't say those words, but
Yeah.
that's where I think I still need guidance and I need to kind of flex that muscle because now that Leo specifically is a little bit older, it's like, okay, you're not just raging because you're 2 and you don't know better.
Yeah.
We need to figure out a way to not just feel your emotions, but okay, let's regulate those emotions.
Yes.
So, have you ever had any success managing disappointment for your kids?
Yes to everything you just said. I get so frustrated with Zoe so easily because of
Mhm.
everything you just said. It's like, this is not a big deal. But then I go back to how I just reacted at Disney, and I'm like, this is also not a big deal. So,
Right.
work in progress, humbled for sure. Acting like a 4-year-old. So at school, it's actually great. They've been doing forgiveness breaths and taking a moment. And so she will put like her hand on her heart, her hand on her belly, and just breathe. And
Yeah.
we always say, like, Zoe, let's try and take a deep breath, or we need to
Mhm.
to take a minute.
Mhm.
This seems to work for her though, I think because they're doing it at school.
That's
And
great.
so not all the time, but we will. Parker will take something of hers or the dogs. piss her off. She'll lay out a blanket. She's like setting up a bed on the floor. And of course, Luke or Olive like comes sits on it. And she's like, they're on my blanket. She's freaking out about it. And we're like, we can solve this. And so I
Right.
think we try to use that language with her. Let's try and problem solve. Let's figure this out. Let's start by taking a deep breath. And like sometimes she will do the hand on heart, like hand on her belly.
That is so
And we'll
sweet.
take a little pause. And I think that has helped us, but we also try to instill when it comes to Parker, hey, you guys are a team. We need to
Yes.
figure this out together and talk through options of what we can do versus how she's kind of reacting. So she just explodes immediately. And we're like, Zoe,
Right.
we can figure this out. What do we
Mhm.
need to do? Do we need to make a trade with Parker? Do we need to take turns? How can we talk to each other versus
Yes.
pushing, shoving, hitting? It's imperfect, but I think as I'm talking through it, I'm like, there's so much research. I feel like how many times it actually takes for something to stick or to become a
Yeah.
habit. We try it, we try it, we try it, and it's not working. It's not working.
Yeah.
Or sometimes it'll work. And I think it's just the repetition. I think we need to just stick with it.
Yeah. That's really good insight. Funny enough, the breathing thing does not work with Leo, and it's always where I wanna go. Like,
Yeah.
take a deep breath, but he just gets more pissed. Something that has worked, I'll tell him to push on my hands. He'll sit up against a wall and push against me or do it with his feet. That
Yeah.
helps. Maybe it's the testosterone, but he definitely needs almost to exert the
Yeah. Like an
anger or
input.
frustration.
Yeah.
But, you have me thinking because I'm thinking back to the ice cream example, and he did ultimately regulate, so I was like, "What did I do?" I forget. In that case, I just kept playing. So, he was
Mm.
crying, being like, "Oh, my life is over," and I was like, "Okay, well, I'm gonna scoop some ice cream if whenever you're ready to play," and then I started playing, and then he kinda just snapped out of it and came back over and was like, "Oh, what kind of flavor do you want? Maybe I should try that again next time and see what works for him," because a lot of these things that I'm doing are not things that I'm super familiar with or things that I've, done in the past with him. I feel like all the research I had for the last 3.5 years and all of the things that I really convinced myself of how to handle a situation has changed. Now that he's
Yeah.
older, it's right. It's like a new chapter, and I have to refamiliarize myself with new practices and new things to help him through that. But I wanted to just touch on what you said about the communication, that you're a team. I love it. Chris and I are the same way. We always talk to the boys. You guys are going to have each other's backs. You guys have to be there for each other. You guys are going to have each other longer than anyone else in your entire life. And so, something that works really, really well for my boys is instead of just telling them what to do, we try to give them the language to say. Leo will take something from Jonah. Jonah will take something from Leo, right? Rip it out of his hands. Someone's crying. I'll say, Leo, you can't take it out of his hands. Ask him if you can have a
Mm.
turn. 90% of the time, Jonah will be like, here, wow, that was easy. So
Truly.
it's definitely getting better. I've seen improvement. I guess maybe I'm not giving myself enough credit in the sense of there are things that are working. Like we're never gonna have a scenario where our kids are not upset. To your point, as adults, we get upset. We're overtired. We're cranky. We're pissed off. We hold them to the standard of just like always being well behaved. No, we're
Truly.
not at all.
Yes. I think it's really important to also remember developmentally what Leo and Zoe are doing is exactly what they're
Yep.
supposed to be doing, but it's really uncomfortable for us. And I
So
think
uncomfortable.
so much of it just goes back to our own discomfort. Our parents didn't deal with discomfort. So we
Exactly.
took on the brunt of, nope, you better straighten up and figure it out because there will be no discomfort in this house. And I think that
Yep.
is why it makes it so freaking hard. Because again, trying to like unlearn and reparent ourselves as our kids are going through it and clearly not getting it right all the time. It's hard.
That's such a good point that you brought up because when you think about it, we took the brunt of the discomfort for our parents and we're taking the brunt of the discomfort for our kids.
That sucks.
Yeah, I know. The millennials, listen, I live and breathe by the stance that millennials got a short end of the stick in a lot of ways. Obviously, I'm so happy of the changes we're making to those patterns, but yeah, it's hard.
Yeah.
Jonah is, I think I mentioned this in our last episode, but he's just so freaking moody and mean and tantrumy. And I think it's hard. It's hard to watch for him specifically because it's such a stark difference from where we were a year ago. Like he was always the happiest, funniest, smiliest baby, so chill. I would always joke Zoloft is running through his veins from when I was pregnant because he's just so chill. Obviously, Chris and I both know it's totally normal, expected with the age. They don't call it terrible twos for no reason. But I'll hear Chris every once in a while be like, why is he acting like this? Like, why is this so hard? Why does he make everything so difficult? And I'm just like, dude, I like, yeah, it sucks, but there's
Yeah.
nothing we can do about it. We can't we can't parent him out of this. This is his brain development. And so, yes, it's uncomfortable for us. I hate having to run onto the soccer fields, lift Jonah up because he ran on, and then he screams and strains his body. And similar to you, I also am not fazed by the crying anymore because I've seen enough, known
Yeah.
enough. It just is what it is. But it just takes it out of me. I didn't even tell you what happened to
Oh,
me this
God.
past weekend in terms of disappointment. Freaking Jonah. Oh, it's like a bad news, good news story. We've talked so much about, with me specifically, like not having help, looking for those moments, trying to make that time to connect with Chris. And so my sweet mother-in-law offered to come Valentine's Day weekend and give us time, a date night.
Aw.
I know. We were so excited. And this was coming off of like a month of being sick. You know, it was a really rough start to the year. So we found this local Italian place. It's kind of become like our little place. We can walk there from our house too, which is really nice. So Chris and his mom go to pick up the kids from daycare. And I'm getting ready. I had just showered. I'm putting on my makeup. I'm like, oh, this is so exciting. I get to go out and like, put myself together. And I see a missed call from daycare. And I'm like, that's
No.
weird. And so I look at Chris's location. He's at daycare. So I'm like, I'm not going to call them back because clearly whatever's going on, he's there to deal with it. Chris is walking up the stairs holding Jonah. I pop out. I go, what's wrong? And he goes, Jonah threw up at school. And my heart sunk because Katie and Wes and Nate just came off of a week of neurovirus, of absolute hell. And Wes just started at their school. So my first thought was, oh my God, it's neurovirus. It's spreading, right? Around it's what else?
Yeah.
Why else would he be throwing up?
Oh,
He's not really like a thrower
no.
upper. He gets through the threshold of Jonah's room and then Jonah projectile vomits, exorcism style, just
No.
all over Chris, all over the floor. And then he does it again. The rug was covered, our brand new carpet that we had installed, but whatever. We knew this was going to happen eventually. Put Jonah in his crib and I start cleaning up. It's so nasty. It smells so, I just hate cleaning up puke. But
It's the
I look over
worst.
at Jonah and he's just like happy as a clam. He's jumping up and down. He's like, la, 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 la. And so I'm kind of like, this feels different than sick. You're right. I mean, if you're
Yeah.
sick, you would think he would be out of it. But I look at Chris and I go, we shouldn't go out tonight, right? He's like, no, we shouldn't. Because just in case it really was
No.
something bad. Yeah. So we didn't go. It was cute
Uh,
though. Chris tried to salvage it. He's like, I'm going to order us pizza and from that place and we'll just eat it at home and we'll find a good movie. And it was such a sweet sentiment. He surprised me and got cannolis too. It was such a
yeah.
disappointment. There was so much excitement and anticipation around finally a date night. It's been how long? And womp womp. But the good news is that Jonah wasn't sick. He bounced back immediately. We think
Yeah.
that it was the Valentine's Day parties. We think that he just
God
ate
damn it.
so much sugar and because he doesn't eat a lot of sugar. And I looked at a food report for the day and it was like chocolate muffins, fruit, juice, just so many
No.
sugary things. I think he just overate and his stomach was upset. And so once he puked, he's like, I'm ready to go. So
Oh my
that
gosh.
sucked. And then I didn't even tell you that day I was supposed to get my hair. So I took off. I took a day off of work on
Love
Friday
that.
because I was going to get my hair done. I love getting my hair done. It's my happy place. Very excited for the day, right? Hair done and then going out to dinner with Chris. Best day. My hairstylist texts me. She's like, I am so sorry. My son is sick. And ironically enough, the first time I had an appointment with her, her son got strep. So I'm like, oh my God, I'm sorry. I think I have a curse on you and your family. So we rescheduled it to Monday. Monday, she texts me. She's like, I'm so sorry. I have strep. I'm getting antibiotics. Here are my
Oh
next available
no.
days. Her next available day was today. So once again, I wake up and I'm like, yes, finally, we're here. We made it to hair day. She texts me, goes, Gina, I can't make this up. I have food poisoning. And I'm just like,
Shut up.
I, okay. Disappointment on top of disappointment on top of disappointment. And then was it yesterday? Yeah, I think it was yesterday because it was our first day back to school because we had President's Day off. And I wake up to Mosby, like dry heave. He makes this puke. I'm sure your dogs do the
Oh
same,
yeah.
like that, and like the back.
No.
It's so
Yeah.
freaky. I hear it because sometimes in the morning he gets the vet said it's like similar to like acid reflux for a person. It just his stomach is empty, and so he throws up this bile. So I run over and I throw a towel underneath where he is and catch whatever comes out because the lights are off. I can't even see
Yeah.
what I'm doing. And I'm like, oh, thank God I caught it. Oh, what a win, right? I turn the
Yeah.
lights on. There's an entire another puke
No.
stain. I was like, what is in the water? Like, why is everybody
Oh
puking on this carpet?
my
So I spent
gosh.
all morning, I shouldn't say all morning. So I spent however long cleaning that puke. And I was just in
No.
such a sour mood. I was just pissed at everybody. And I'm just kind of tying it back to everything we've been talking about. And it's my cup is
Yeah.
not being filled. In fact, it's just pouring out everywhere. It's just sacrifice, 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 and discomfort. It's just hard to bounce back. I mean, with Jonah not being sick, that definitely was an aspect that I could say, oh, thank God. This could have been
Yeah.
so much worse. A big piece of it I know is obviously I was sad that I couldn't go out with Chris. But when I have this, as Debbie would like to say, I write this narrative for myself of
Mm.
what I wanted to be. I wanted just to have this little day of pampering. And so, was it actually that big of a deal that my hair didn't get done that day? Not really. It can wait. But it just wasn't what I wanted it to be. It wasn't the way it was
Yeah.
supposed to go. And I had to just sit with that.
Is it still weighing on you? Do you feel like you're still sitting in it, or do you think you've moved past any of it?
I think that I am getting better at moving through it instead of letting it ruin like my whole weekend, let's
Yeah.
say, because it's not that big of a deal. There are so many other problems. Like had Jonah been sick, I think we'd be having a different conversation. I think I would have been stuck in it because
Yeah.
I would have been like, "Oh my God, we just got over what's happening. This is so awful." But it was just inconvenient, a little annoying, but for the love of God, can I just get my hair done?
Truly, truly. I'd love to ask too because I can 100% relate. I remember how many times in Texas we'd finally be getting a date night or something where we're getting some relief from the kids. Kid would get spike a fever. We'd have to go pick him
Yep.
up at school or
Yep.
something would happen where we never got that time. I again can relate wholeheartedly to you have this vision, you have this picture of
Mhm.
what the night or opportunity looks like for you to finally get a break.
Mhm.
If you think about what needs you were trying to fulfill with that date night, did your alternative still serve its purpose?
That is a super interesting perspective because to what you're saying, if I look at it through the lens of what was the need that I was looking to meet, not was this the night that I pictured, then
Mm,
yes, my need was met. All I wanted was to spend some alone time with Chris, just get out of our day to day routines, schedules, everything, and just have fun.
yeah.
And we did that because Jonah went down so fast. I mean, he was exhausted. And my mother in law completely took care of Leo's bedtime. It was as if we had left to go somewhere, but we just went to our sunroom.
Yeah.
So yeah, I see again another reframe that I've just never really thought about. Maybe that's the missing key is whenever we feel that disappointment, instead of this isn't what I wanted, this isn't how it was supposed to go, it's okay, what am I trying to accomplish? And how can I do that that just looks different? But how can we do it? For example, going back to the ice cream with Leo. L- I'm trying to play with Leo. I'm trying to connect with Leo. I'm sure he's trying to connect with me. Jonah's kind of interfering with that. It's not going the way that probably Leo wants it to go. But guess what? We can still connect. We can still play. I'm not leaving. The world has not ended. And maybe that's what we need to start teaching our kids is, okay, it's not going the way that you wanted, so how can we do it different? And that's not something
Yeah.
I've ever really thought of before.
I don't know that I have either until those words were like coming out of my mouth. So you're giving me new perspective. I actually would love to share this Instagram post that I found because I think it was such a good reframe. Because I think vacation, date nights, like disappointment in general, whether it
Mhm.
be your family, you and your partner, your kids, is so it's just so challenging. So I got served up this, post on Instagram. Clearly, somebody knew I needed it. She has her own podcast, the Not Alone podcast. The post specifically talks about vacation, but I think it's so relatable and applicable to everything we've been talking about today. So the post says, "I used to think vacations were about relaxing, but now I think they're about something else. I don't know how social media fooled us, but connection is not a soft experience.
Mm.
It's noise and negotiations. It's wait for me, and that's not fair. It's moods, hunger, overstimulation, and someone always needing something at the exact same time. But for some reason, that's the part we edit out when we talk about quality time.
Wow.
The truth is, closeness creates friction." So true. I've realized we want connection without inconvenience, love without interruption, and togetherness without adjusting for it. But that's not connection. That's being around each other, not with each other. So I started to look at it differently. Every argument they have is them learning how to stay in a relationship. Every moment of this is a lot is proof we're actually in it together. So discomfort isn't the opposite of connection, it's often the beginning of it. I don't remember the itinerary, but I remember who needed me, who forgave quickly, who waited, and who came back after being mad. That's my new definition of a successful family vacation. Are you going to cry?
Why am I crying right now? Oh my god.
You feel it in your bones.
That is so
Yeah,
beautiful though. I cannot believe how emotional I am right now. That is so beautifully said. We're out here trying to avoid these these moments of friction, these moments of discomfort. We're sitting here saying, "Oh my god, my child calling for me is so annoying. Why can't things just be easy?" But she's right. That is us connecting with our children, being there for our children, making memories with each other. And wow, that is so powerful. That needs to be broadcasted around the world. I've never heard somebody talk about it like that.
I haven't either. And it makes
Wow.
me feel a little bit better about
Yeah.
our vacation.
You should feel so good about your vacation. You did the best you could, and the kids had
Thank you.
fun. You survived. You're still married.
They did. I will say I did. I apologized to the children.
There
I
you go.
did for how I acted, so I tried to repair. It maybe took me a little bit longer than I'd like to admit, but
Yep.
I came around.
You're
But
human.
yeah,
You're
I
human, and you have a breaking point.
it's true. I
Everybody
think we
does.
just you get so caught up because like this is the point, but
Yeah.
but we just want it to be smooth and us not to make mistakes or, yeah, be human.
Yeah. Wow, this is incredible perspective. I wanna challenge myself when we pack up the car and kids get in the car instead of like, "God, I hope this goes well. I hope this is an easy drive." Instead, I'm just gonna be like, "All right, let the chaos roll."
Yeah. Yeah. No, truly. And I think that is what I wanna get to too, like leaning in because I feel like I have done a better job in other areas of life of just like relinquishing control, and it's so freeing when you just lean into it
Mhm.
versus hanging on for dear life onto this control that is, to your point, for what? But then I also think about the days that I have filled my own cup and nourished myself are also the days that I can lean in and relinquish control and say, "You know what?
Mhm.
Cool, you wanna play in mud, go play in mud, I don't
You're
care."
right.
Or I'm the one that can be that voice to Tyler of like, "This doesn't matter. Why
Right.
are we letting this be a thing?" And so it's just so annoying how connected it all is.
I was just That's so funny you said that because I was sitting here thinking to myself, it's almost like it's all connected. What a concept.
Ah,
I
yeah.
know. Every day we talk through these things and even just gain a shred of new perspective, I think is a win because it's something that we didn't have prior to this conversation.
You're
So
right.
hopefully we're giving our listeners some new, fresh perspective too,
I
because
mean,
we're in this together
truly.
forever.
Yes, I needed this. Thank
I
you.
did too. I hope you're recovering from your vacation. And we just collectively agree that we always need a vacation after a vacation.
Without children.
Yes, like we need a after vacation, we need like 3 days off just to actually relax.
Yeah,
I always take the day off after I get back from a vacation. So, if
you're
like we got back
smart.
on a Sunday, that Monday I would have off for sure.
Oh, that's see, I thought I was crushing it because we flew back on a Saturday night, so we had the
Mm,
long weekend. We had, like, a full weekend, like a Sunday, Monday.
but the kids are
Prob
home.
Kids were home. That
Yep,
that was the
changes
biggest
everything.
problem. Yeah.
God, kids ruin everything. Oh, we
Yeah.
love them. It was so good to catch up with you. Thank you once again for bringing so much clarity and fresh perspective
And drama.
and drama. I have to admit, it is entertaining.
Thank you for letting us vent and complain and come clean on some of our ugly parenting truths that are maybe weighing on us more than we'd like to say. Disappointment is just part of life, and we're all learning how to clearly move through it and maybe even reframe it so that we can come out better on the other side. We're all in this together.
It sounds to me like we all need to give ourselves a little bit of grace.
Never heard of her.
See you next week.
And that concludes your free therapy session, brought to you by two people with lots of opinions and zero certifications. Don't forget to bill your insurance, emotionally or otherwise. And be sure to follow us on Instagram at GraceWhoPod. That's Grace, WHO Pod.
Tune in next time for another deep dive into something we'll probably overthink and under-resolve. And while our search for grace continues, let's at least try to find a little joy in between.